try this again. I made a video, I had a whole video, and my voice didn't come through on it at all. Like you couldn't hear anything. Some would say those are the best kinds of videos for me, where you can't hear me talking. But anyway, um, I'm going to tell you a story again, a different story, but I don't think I've told it before, but maybe I did, about when I was a baby living in the village of Merrickville. I took you guys to Merrickville on a video not too long ago. Pretty little village. It's quite a tourist trap now. But back in the 60s, it was a really rough little place anyway. It wasn't like it is now. Merrickville was not a place you'd visit unless you had some specific reason to go there back in the 60s. Anyway, it wasn't a place you'd go to visit just for ambiance or whatever. It really wasn't. But the building that I showed you in the video, when I showed you where our apartment was and stuff, the windows of our apartment and stuff, where it was. That building, um, that building is where we lived anyway. But in those days, that building was owned by a realtor from Smiths Falls, from the town of Smiths Falls. And my parents rented the apartment from him. Well, when we moved in there, all the walls were a caramel brown color, ugly color. Now, my dad really couldn't have cared less, but it bothered my mom, and my dad wasn't going to hear the end of it until something was done, and therefore he was bothered. Now, that's generally how that works. There's like a chain of being bothered in a relationship, and generally the way it works is the woman is bothered by something that doesn't bother the man, but then the man is bothered by the woman until he fixes it. So that's your chain of being bothered. It's like the chain of command in the army or whatever. It's the chain of being bothered in a relationship. She's bothered, and now he's going to be bothered until she's no longer bothered. So that was the situation. So my mom and dad, they went to Smiths Falls and they visited the landlord. They told the landlord they wished to paint the apartment. The landlord said, "You may paint the apartment as long as it doesn't cost me one thin dime out of my pocket. You may paint the apartment. You buy the paint, you do the work. Don't cost me anything. All's right with the world." Oh, the other thing is, though, after you paint the apartment, I want to have the right to approve or disapprove. And if I see things that I think you need to fix, then you need to fix those things. So if you agree to that, you have me up there after you paint it so I can have a look. And if you agree to that, you may paint the apartment. Well, my parents agreed to that. And they went and they bought all the paint, anything else they needed, the brushes and so on, and they painted the apartment. Pardon me. Well, they painted the apartment. When they were finished painting the apartment, they had the landlord come up to see. Invited him up to have a look, like they promised they would. The landlord, he come up and he had a look, and he went on and on about what a beautiful job they did, how impressed he was. "Oh yes, you did a wonderful job. Don't change a thing. It's perfect. Like, I'm really impressed. You guys are amazing. You did a wonderful job. I can't even begin to express how happy I am with what you have done. It's wonderful. I approve. You did good. Thank you. You did good." He leaves. My parents
they're thinking, well, we're happy, and he's happy, everybody's happy, all is right with the world. Wonderful. Yeah, everybody's happy. How often does that happen in this life that everybody's happy? My mom's happy because the apartment no longer looks like a shithole. My dad's happy because he don't have to hear constantly about how the apartment looks like a shithole. The landlord's happy because his property no longer looks like a shithole. See, there's a theme here. I'm going somewhere with this. Anyway, and my parents are happy because the landlord is happy. And he hasn't said, okay, yeah, you need to change this, that, and the other thing, which would be more work and more expense for them. So everyone's happy, all's right with the world, and everybody lived happily ever after. But wait, as you know, we're living in an imperfect and fallen world, so that is not what happened. Never does that happen. Because there's always got to be some corruption come into any situation, and that's what happened here. A week or so after the landlord had been up to visit and had gone on and on about how wonderful it was, what a great job they did. Oh, you guys did amazing. What a wonderful job you did on this apartment. The apartment no longer looks like a shithole. It's great, thank you. I'm going to go back to my office in Smiths Falls now, and I'm going to sit in my chair and smoke a cigar, and I'm going to think about the fact that because of you kind people, my apartment no longer looks like a shithole, and I'm going to be grateful to you. And I'm going to say, damn, those are good tenants. They fixed the apartment. They took it from shithole to glory hole. Oh, wait, no. Forget I said that. That's wrong. They took it from shithole to really nice looking place. There you go. All right. I do have an odd sense of humor, I admit that. Anyway, you'd think that would be it. But no, definitely not. A week later, my dad gets a letter in the mail informing him that because the apartment was freshly painted, and now the value of the property, of course, had gone up due to the wonderful paint job in the apartment, the rent had to go up accordingly, of course. We're putting the rent, I'm putting the rent up. The place is nicer now. I'm going to have to put your rent up. Well, of course, my dad was not impressed with that. And he went to see the landlord, and he gave him our notice, and we moved out. And that was the end of our adventure living in Merrickville. Anyway, just thought I'd share that with you. It was quite a thing. So somebody else moved into the apartment, and I'm sure they paid higher rent. The crook always seems to win in these situations, But anyway, didn't cost the landlord a cent, But anyway, it is what it is. That's all. Crooked landlords are not a new thing anyway. I mean, we had them in the 60s too, and I'm sure they existed way before that. But yeah, being a landlord is a tough job in a lot of ways. But being a tenant is also a tough job, Anyway, that's it. We'll talk to you later.